How's it going, guys? So, the Springboks had a pretty good run up against Italy, beating them 42-24. But the grass isn't all green. They had a very, very difficult second half where the Italians ended up getting themselves four tries in relatively quick succession, which really started to put the Boks under pressure. Now, I want to go through this. I also want to give you guys my ratings for the players, but also look into potentially the next game. So please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's break into it. So looking at the game, if you guys haven't catched my match review, check it out. But this is a game that I think everybody kind of expected it to go one way, especially after the first half. South Africa really, really dominating in terms of the scoreline, possession, scrums, lineouts, pretty much everything. We then had Vincent Situka, his try that got chalked off relatively early on in the second half, which that could have shaped out the entire game. We would have seen South Africa more than likely continue to control the game, but we did see a lot of that Italian grit and tenacity to really bring back the game. And, they really, really started to put a lot of players in their place. So the Italians really started to perform, whereas some of the South Africans, they started to wilt. Obviously, we did have the bomb squad come on, which was nice to see, but in my opinion, they weren't as effective as you normally would be. So looking at the game, I want to give you guys my ratings for the Boks, and then look into next week. So first up, in terms of Oxenche, he's an 8.5 for me. I think he absolutely dominated the scrums and he's a complete disruption specialist. I think he had a brilliant, brilliant game. I always love Oxenche. 2, we have Malcolm Marx. I'm giving him an 8. He was so strong in the set pieces, open play. He was an absolute monster. Yes, he did have a couple of mistakes here and there, but all around for me, he had a pretty good game. Wilco Low, same thing, 8. Again, he's brilliant. He's just a scrummaging anchor, and I love that partnership with Oxenche as well. So for me, the front three had a relatively good game whilst they were on the pitch. Into the lock pairing, Ibn Etzebeth, I'm giving him a 7.5. I felt he actually had a pretty good game. It's lovely to see him back in the squad. I'm always fearful whenever he takes a knock, if he's ever going to be out. He's getting on with his years, and he's been a warrior. He's been through a lot. So hopefully we get to see a couple more years of him, but who knows? Who knows? I think he had an absolutely brilliant game. He was so energetic. He was an absolute lineup monster, as he normally is, charging down kicks and so on. So absolutely, absolutely brilliant. My 5, I have Lured the Jager. I'm giving him a 6.5. I was not I was not 100% with him. He had a relatively good game. He's always dependable, but he had a pretty quiet game. I think he could have done more. I think he could have had a bit bigger impact, but it is what it is. I'm chalking that down potentially to the Italians. Then we got our back row. Marco van Staden, I'm giving him a 7. It's a workhorse. He got a late try as well, but through the game he went missing. It's moments where, again, he just didn't feel like his usual self. He didn't, like I say, he didn't manage to get a try, but up until that point, he was very hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. My 7, I'm giving Vincent Sutuka. I'm giving him a 7.5. He had a pretty decent debut, his official debut. It would have been lovely to see him actually get that try, but his breakdown, his work rate, he had a lot of involvement throughout the game. So again, better than average. He had a pretty good game. Nothing special, but I think he would have had an even better game if that try had to stand. Moving on into my 8, Jasper Wiese. Now, brilliant player, brilliant ball carries, set piece dominance was amazing. I really liked the way he plays. I mean, he's a very difficult customer to deal with. He really is. On the best of days, so I'm giving him an 8. Um, Again, good performance. First half was powerful, and ultimately, I am generally chalking that second half resurgence down to the Springboks. They let their foot off the gas. And that's one thing you don't do with the Italians. Thankfully, South Africa already had a big enough gap so that they don't have to worry too much. But still, it's difficult. Mornay van der Berg, I'm giving him a 9. Got man of the match, 2 tries. His brilliant box kicks. He was just on it. He was just on it. He felt like I'm really liking to see Mornay van der Berg at 9. I'm really, really enjoying that. Then we have Andre Pollard at 10. Not too happy with him. He had a relatively quiet game. Obviously, he's normally pretty consistent in between the sticks. But again, hot and cold. I felt he lacked that energy. He lacked that oomph. And at times, breaking down that Italian defense, was quite difficult. So I'm giving him a 7. Kurtley Arendse, 8.5. He had a pretty damn good game. Um, and that try saving tackle was just stunning, absolutely stunning. Uh, that's what you need, and he gave it. He had the energy, he had the movement, he had the work rate. He caused Italy some serious problems. So for me, he's one of the better players. Ultimately, I do feel that the backs did struggle, a fair amount, especially in that second half. Then moving into my other winger of 14, Chesson Colby, I'm giving him a 6.5. He was very quiet through the game. He didn't really have much impact. Obviously, he's always there, he's always about, but considering normal Colby standards, it was low. The Italians held him good. He really struggled, but at times the Springboks really struggled to get themselves into motion. Having that quick free play, it was very, it was very broken, and they really struggled. So, yeah, Ches and Colby for me, 6.5. Damian Willemse, I am giving a 7.5. Good game, pretty solid. Uh, I don't really have much to really comment on him about. He had a pretty good game. South Africa came through with a good win, and yeah, can't complain. We then did have the substitutions that came on, and I felt they did they did a good job, especially Koch. Love Koch. Take that how you want to take it. Um, but yeah, the bomb squad came on. They were strong. Everything you can expect from the Springboks, and ultimately they managed to put through a fairly solid performance. I just feel that second half was an eye opener. It was a very, very big eye opener for Rassi and the squad. And I think this is what they are going to I do feel that they are going to be making a lot of changes. And I think Rassi, he is going to be changing up quite a lot. He's going to be basically kicking people to the curb to say, look, we need better. Honestly, I don't think Italy are going to have that same resolve next game. Um, I don't think that they I don't think that they're going to have the chance to do what they did today because Rassi's going to make the necessary changes. He is going to find those holes, those gaps, and he's going to fill them with bloody concrete. And he's going to make sure that nobody ever breaks through again. I do feel, obviously, South Africa are known to be very good when it comes down to their scrums. They're going to continue to try and dominate. And I think giving the tactical edge, I think Van der Berg and Pollard was good. I did kind of like when Faf de Klerk came on. He had, he was a bit of a threat, but still didn't really, ring rust. For me, that was ring rust. Um, Ardenser was on it. Colby wasn't. So there's a couple changes that can be made here. I mean, even if we take even take out like someone like Pollard at 10, bring on Sasha. We can swap things up around the wings, potentially even the fullback. Um, Centers, they can still make a couple changes. Honestly, I there are a couple players that I would like to see, and it's going to be interesting to see who Rassi chooses, because I think I read reports on this. He's going to rip up the entire script, and he's gonna start from scratch. So yeah, Italy took advantage of that momentum in that second half. They took advantage of the mistakes, and they started to make him pay. Canone was an absolute monster. He was so terrifying. And Italy had a lot of those forwards that were very, very terrifying, that made life for the Springboks very, very difficult. They started to work their ruck game very, very well, and they started to make use of all the little bits and pieces that they could, which is how they actually managed to get those couple of tries in the second half. So Italy are going to be coming into that next game with a bit more confidence, a bit more motivation. Um, I do think the Springboks do still have a little bit of ring rust. They are still getting used to, game time again. I think Rassi is going to make sure that these holes are filled, and he's going to make life very, very difficult for the Italians. But only time will tell for that. We'll see who comes out on top. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I want to know what your thoughts are. Please like and subscribe as always. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts in the comment section below. Bye.